Now listen, most guys think testosterone is all about squats, steak and supplements. And don't get me wrong, those things matter. I've talked about before how changing my diet and training helped me go from the lower end of testosterone to the high 900s. But here's what I realised after years of testing, tweaking and obsessing over this hormone. Testosterone isn't just physical, it's psychological. Your mindset, the way you wake up, the challenges you set yourself, how you handle wins and losses can literally shift your testosterone levels. And the science is crystal clear. For example, there's a study titled Testosterone and Dominance in Men, which found that men who experienced victory in competition saw significant testosterone boosts, while losers saw drops. Another fascinating one is power posing. Brief non-verbal displays affect neuroendocrine levels and risk tolerance, which showed that simply adopting a dominant posture, standing tall, chest open, raised testosterone levels. Think about that. Just the way you carry yourself or the fact you choose to compete instead of sitting on the sidelines changes your biology. Testosterone is a warrior's hormone, and if you live like a spectator, your body stops producing like a warrior. So in this video, I'm breaking down how mindset builds testosterone, specifically why having a purpose makes your body fight to keep high T, how small wins stack into real hormonal momentum, why discipline beats motivation every single time, the role of competition, social circles, and even women in boosting your testosterone, and how daily habits and gratitude literally rewire your biology for higher T. If you're struggling with low energy, low drive, or feeling stuck, this might be the missing piece of the puzzle. Let's get into it. One of the biggest shifts for me wasn't a supplement or a training tweak, it was finding purpose. When you wake up with no direction, your body isn't primed for high testosterone. Why? Because testosterone is the hormone of drive, reproduction, and competition. Without a mission, there's no biological need to keep levels high. I remember the years when I'd snooze my alarm, drift through the day, no ambition, no clarity. My T was flat, my energy was flat, and honestly, I felt half alive. Everything changed when I set a clear vision for myself. Suddenly I had something worth fighting for, and science backs this up. A review titled Testosterone and Dominance in Men explains that men with a strong sense of purpose and higher perceived social status tend to have significantly higher testosterone. Purpose creates an internal loop. Your body says, I need to be sharper, stronger, and more resilient. So here's my challenge to you. Define what you're working towards. Doesn't have to be huge. Start with small, concrete goals that build. Purpose is the spark. Testosterone is the fuel. Now let's move from purpose to progress. Men overcomplicate success. They think it's all about giant leaps, but biology rewards small victories. That same study I mentioned earlier, the one on competition, showed that even minor wins boost testosterone. It's not about climbing Everest, it's about stacking little wins every day. For me, it was simple things. Hitting the gym consistently, swapping junk food for steak and eggs, sprinting twice a week. Each win reinforced to my body. This man is moving forward, keep testosterone high. So set achievable goals, track them, celebrate them. That celebration is not just psychological, it's hormonal. Now I want to talk about something most men run from, discomfort. Comfort kills testosterone. If your life is easy, scrolling, TikTok, Netflix marathons, never taking risks, your biology reflects that. Your body thinks you're safe, so it doesn't need to keep you sharp. But when you deliberately push into discomfort, everything changes. Cold showers, hard training sessions, public speaking, business risks, your body rises to the challenge. Every time I leaned into something I feared, I came out stronger, not just mentally, but hormonally. Think about that. The gym, the discomfort of the last rep is where the muscle is built. Life works the same way. Now let's build on that with structure. Motivation is fleeting. Discipline is hormonal. Your body loves structure. Testosterone thrives when your life has rhythm. Consistent sleep, consistent training, consistent progress. One study titled Testosterone and Cortisol Responses to Competition found that structured, ritualized competitions led to higher testosterone compared to unstructured living. Look at athletes, soldiers, CEOs, they don't rely on random motivation. They have routines that make discipline automatic. That's why they're sharp, driven and resilient. If you want high testosterone, build a routine that makes excellence inevitable. Now let's shift gears and talk about the people around you. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That's not just motivational fluff, it's biological fact. A study called Testosterone and Dominance in Men showed that men in competitive hierarchical environments had higher testosterone compared to isolated men. When you're around ambitious driven men, you naturally rise. When you're around lazy bitter men, you sink. I've lived both and I can tell you, testosterone is contagious. So upgrade your circle, join a gym with serious lifters, surround yourself with men chasing excellence. Cut off the anchors holding you back. Now let's get primal. Men are designed for action. Our ancestors hunted, fought, built empires. Today, most men just scroll, but biology hasn't changed. When you fight, compete, or challenge yourself physically, you activate testosterone. There's a study titled Hormonal Responses to Striking, Combat Sports Competition, a systematic review and meta-analysis, which found significantly higher testosterone in men training in combat sports like boxing, MMA, and wrestling. I'm not saying go start street fights, but hit a heavy bag, join a boxing class, play competitive sports. These primal activities channel aggression in a controlled, productive way. Now let's flip the script and talk about something softer that most men overlook. Gratitude. Sounds weak, right? But actually, it's powerful. Research shows gratitude lowers cortisol, and when cortisol drops, testosterone rises. While there isn't a direct PubMed study titled The Psychological Benefits of Gratitude Practice in Men, multiple studies confirm gratitude reduces stress hormones and improves well-being. This indirect effect supports testosterone health. For me, it was simple, writing 3 things I was grateful for each morning. It rewired my brain from scarcity to abundance, and when stress went down, energy and testosterone went up. Gratitude isn't a weakness, it's a weapon. Now I want to go deeper. Most men are trapped by limiting beliefs. I'm not built for success, I'll always be low T, that's not just who I am. Nonsense. Neuroplasticity proves your brain can rewire at any age, and when your mindset changes, your hormones follow. Every time you break through a mental barrier, whether that's facing fear, speaking up, or tackling discomfort, you send a signal to your endocrine system. This man is growing, raise testosterone. Your brain and hormones are in constant dialogue. Feed it confidence, feed it action, and your biology will reward you. And let's not ignore one of the most primal drivers of testosterone, women. This isn't just theory, it's backed by science. There's a study titled The Presence of a Woman Increases Testosterone in Male Subjects that showed exactly that. Just by engaging in a simple conversation with an attractive woman, men experienced a measurable rise in testosterone. No workout, no supplement, just interaction. Think about that for a second. Your body is wired to respond to social dynamics. When you're around women, your body senses an opportunity to compete, to impress, to display strength, and testosterone surges to prepare you for that. It's nature at work, but here's the catch. Most men today have removed themselves from that primal environment. Instead of face-to-face interactions, they're glued to screens, scrolling, dating apps, or watching content that tricks their brain into thinking it's experiencing intimacy. But that's not the real thing, and your hormones know the difference. When you actually walk up, introduce yourself, make eye contact, carry a conversation, flirt a little, that's your testosterone spikes. Why? Because you've just entered the most ancient game of all, courtship and competition. Your body responds by sharpening you, making you more confident, more alert, more energetic. I've seen this firsthand with a client of mine. He'd been training consistently, but he'd always kept to himself. One day he started chatting with a beautiful woman at his gym. At first, it was light, just small talk about sets and exercise, but the chemistry was obvious. Over time, that initial spark led into a unique friendship built on mutual respect, shared training goals, and playful competition. He told me that this connection changed his whole week to week. energy, motivation, and confidence in ways he hadn't experienced before. That's the power of real interaction. It flips a hormonal switch you can't replicate behind a screen. And it doesn't stop there. Studies also show that men in competitive or mixed gender social situations display higher testosterone compared to men who isolate themselves. It's a feedback loop. The more you interact, the more your T rises, and the more confident you feel going into the next interaction. So don't underestimate this. Social interaction is a biological performance enhancer. It's not just about women, it's about status, hierarchy, and showing up in the real world. Finally, let's talk about the foundation, sleep. A study from the University of Chicago titled "Effect of 1 Week of Sleep Restriction on Testosterone Levels in Healthy Young Men" showed that men who only slept 5 hours per night for a week saw a 10 to 15% drop in testosterone. Sleep isn't optional, it's the multiplier. 7 to 8 hours of quality rest restores your hormones, sharpens your mind, and gives you the discipline to keep stacking wins. Here's the truth, you can't separate physical from mental. Your diet, training, and recovery are the foundation, but your mindset is the architect. Without it, the house collapses. When you combine strength training, clean eating, solid recovery, and a mindset built on purpose, gratitude and competition, and resilience, you create a biological machine. Testosterone skyrockets, energy soars, and life starts moving in your favour. This isn't about short-term hacks. A testosterone mindset is a way of life. Wake with purpose, push through discomfort, build discipline, surround yourself with high achievers, compete, engage with women, be grateful, sleep. Do this daily and testosterone stops being a number on a blood test. It becomes who you are, and that's when everything changes. If you got value from this, remember to hit that like button, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one.